So welcome. My name is Alicia Underwood. I am the Rise Vermont Program Manager for Windham County. Thank you all for joining us for Rise and Walk Windham County in this live Zoom session for a mindful moment. A few housekeeping items. All attendees will be put on mute as they enter the room. So we ask for you to keep it on mute for the entire presentation. This will be a 10-minute presentation, so you all will have time to go for a walk if you would like afterwards, or enjoy your lunch. If you have any questions or comments for our presenter, please use the chat box. We will leave time at the end of the presentation for Q&A before the 10 minutes are up. This will be recorded and posted on our Rise and Walk Windham County webpage after the presentation for anyone who is unable to attend. If you're watching this recorded session and want to know how to participate in the next Wednesday in a live session, you can find the Zoom login information on our webpage located on the Rise and Walk Windham County schedule. So welcome for a mindful moment presented by Rise and Walk Windham County and Karen Bleeker. This is part 1 for a mindful moment presentation, and you can access part 2, a detailed presentation presented by Karen Bleeker on Friday, which will be posted on our webpage and sent to you via text message. With me today is Karen Bleeker, who will be talking with me about mindfulness. Karen is a psychologist with over 30 years of experience as a therapist and also a mindfulness educator. She has worked in healthcare and private practice, and most recently as a program director and clinical supervisor at a mindfulness-based recovery center in Chiang Rai, Thailand. She is passionate about the role of mindfulness in well-being and has facilitated mindfulness groups, including one for survivors of cancer. Hi, Karen, and thank you for joining us for Rise and Walk Windham County.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for coordinating this. And hello to all of you, and congratulations on this courageous step in taking care of yourself and your own well-being. And I hope this presentation will facilitate that. So I understand that I have a couple of minutes to do a brief introduction. So I'm very aware right now of my own sense of urgency to try to give you as much as I can in a short period of time. And so I'm using my breath to regulate that. And I'm aware that it's happening. And that's a big part of what mindfulness is. So a lot of people think that mindfulness is about quieting your mind or about relaxation. And then they get discouraged when they're unable to quiet their mind or find it relaxing. And the truth is, it's not so much about that. That is a nice byproduct sometimes, but it's really about increasing awareness. And it's awareness of what we call the triangle of awareness, which you will get a diagram of on Friday. And the different parts are thoughts, feelings, and sensations. So it's being aware of our thinking mind, aware of the sensations that we're feeling and the emotions that are coming up at any point in time. And then using mindful breathing or awareness to interrupt a sequence of reacting to whatever may be going on and be able to make a conscious choice about what we would like to do. So I'm going to give you a little example of a mindful moment because you're probably in the middle of your busy day. So what I'd like you all to do is get comfortable, feet preferably on the floor, flat on the floor, if that's possible for you. And we're going to do several parts. First, we're going to do listening and then feeling, and then we're going to move into closing our eyes if that's comfortable for you and bringing awareness to the breath. We often start meditation with a bell. And the reason for that is so that we can follow the vibrations of the sound and it helps us transition into a quiet, stiller place. And the definition I want to give you as we go into this is that mindfulness is a way of paying attention to the present moment with kindness and compassion. And the kindness and compassion is very important because as you become more aware of your thoughts and your feelings and sensations, you can also become more judgmental about yourself. And that's not the idea here. The idea is actually to be aware with kindness and gentleness so that we can choose how we want to be versus just be on automatic pilot. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to hit this bell and notice when you no longer notice the vibrations of sound. So here we go. And now notice the sounds inside or outside the room around you. Now I'm going to invite you to take your hands and just maybe gently massage your hand and see what you notice. For instance, my palm's a little bit damp. Some of my joints are a little bit tender. Let's see if you can experience the touch without thinking about the touch. That is very difficult to do. And now I'm going to invite you, if it's comfortable, to close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable, just to put your gaze gently down in front of you. We're going to turn our attention to the airway for a moment. And again, notice that the mind wants to think about what we're doing versus experience what we're doing. See if you can tell which nostril the breath is going in and out of. Feel the breath moving down the airway, expanding the abdomen on the in-breath and contracting on the out-breath. And just letting the breath breathe you for a minute. Nothing we need to do. Notice how the mind wants to think about things. That's wonderful. That's what the mind does. That's its default place. Whenever it goes somewhere else, see if you can anchor it back to the sensation of breathing. And in a moment, I'm going to ring the bell again to transition us back. All right, that was a very brief and somewhat rushed experiential introduction to mindfulness, but I have to move to your questions already. If there are any.
Now we'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions. We do have resources available on our webpage located on the Rise and Walk schedule. And those will be posted right after this session, along with this recorded session. And the pre-recorded session that will have more detail about what Karen is mentioning will be posted and sent to you on Friday at noon. We're going to end this session with a poem that Karen will read to us. But if you have any questions, now is the time. All right, let's hear that poem. Thank you.
Okay, maybe they're just so relaxed right now that their thinking mind has just gone on pause. Let's hope. So I chose this poem because all of you are walkers, and this is a poem by Dana Faulds called Walk Slowly. So maybe you can take this on your walk today. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still, and just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we are born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe and be and walk slowly into the mystery. It's Dana Fall's Poems from the Heart of Yoga.
Wonderful. For additional information to find resources shared today, go to the Rise and Walk Windham County webpage at risevt.org. And remember to rise and walk for at least 30 minutes a day, at least 3 times this week. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Alicia.